Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. On Monday evening, just after 6:40 p.m. Central Time in Beltrami County, Minnesota, residents there saw a very bright flash of light, and it was followed shortly thereafter by a very loud boom. Nobody knows what caused the flash of light or the loud explosion, but they're still trying to figure it out, and I don't think they ever will, because this kind of thing seems to happen all over the place, all over the world, actually, and nobody ever comes up with any answers. I was actually talking to the emergency management director of Beltrami County today, Christopher Muller, and he says they still have no idea what it is. Now, I'm just going to go through different things that were. There was actually a video that was captured in the Nymore, from the Nymore section of Bemidji, Minnesota. Bemidji is the county seat of Beltrami, and there was a surveillance video that a resident had submitted to the county, and basically you could see the flash of light in the surveillance video, followed shortly thereafter by the loud boom. Here it is. In another surveillance video from a local airport, from the Bemidji local airport, there, at this very same exact time, according to the timestamp of the video from the airport, you could see that there was some sort of object zipping through the sky. I'm going to play that video for you right now. For those who are listening to this podcast, basically what you see here is nothing going on, and then all of a sudden you see this object just zipping really fast across the night sky, coming toward us. Now, since that video was released, authorities have contacted Muller and told him from different federal agencies, and they do not believe that the video is related to the flash and boom. Now they're saying that the object in the video is most likely an insect. But it's still not clear. They don't know exactly what it is, but that's what they're saying. They don't think it's connected. They, according to Muller, when I talked to him today, he said that the timestamp from the airport video was off by a couple of minutes compared to when the incident, the boom, and the flash and the boom occurred. And also, he said that he also saw in an extended version of that video, he also saw other objects zipping through the sky, and experts of federal authorities or agencies are saying that this is most likely an insect. But anyway, they don't know what it is. Here's an article. I'm going to read through this article. This is from NPR News. It says here, authorities in northern Minnesota say they're not sure what caused the bright flash and incredibly loud explosion that shook buildings across parts of the region Monday evening. Initial speculation was that it could have been a meteor, but officials and experts said Tuesday that further analysis of the evidence suggests that may not be the case. Let me just stop there for a second. Yeah, I did talk to, when Muller, I was talking to him today, he actually indicated that the time between the flash and the sound of the explosion were such that it could not have been a meteor, according to different experts that he talked to. But anyway, continuing with this article, it says here, Beltrami County Emergency Management Director Christopher Muller reported it happened at about 6:40 p.m. Muller told NPR News on Tuesday that he was among the Bemidji area residents who heard it. He had just returned home from a walk with his dog when the blast happened. His dog was outside, and, quote, I was wrapping up some tasks in the house and all of a sudden heard a very loud boom. It was so loud that it actually rattled the windows of my house. And about 2 seconds later, the dog was at the door trying to break in because it scared him so bad, Muller said. The blast prompted a flurry of 911 calls to Beltrami County Dispatch. The flash of light and subsequent blast reportedly were seen or heard in the Bagley and Black Duck areas, too. Bagley is about 20 miles west of Bemidji. Black Duck is about 20 miles northeast. So let me just stop there for a second. So this was heard from over a very wide swath of real estate. Well, whatever it was something, and it was something big. Sheriff's deputies and police officers began to check the area after the blast. We checked all the power substations. There were no power outages reported, which you would expect if it were a transformer, a substation, or something of that nature, but we didn't get any reports on that, Muller said. Yes. And when I talked to him this afternoon, this article is from yesterday, he said there still have been no reports on that, so they don't think it could have been a transformer. Continuing here with the article, it says Muller also said the speed of the light and magnitude of the sound were much greater than what's caused by Air Force jets that sometimes fly over the area from Grand Forks, North Dakota. Weather radar didn't detect anything unusual over Bemidji at the time of the blast. There were no reports of damage or injuries. A resident of the Nymore section of Bemidji shared home surveillance video that captured the blast. County authorities shared that video with the public. They also shared a second video from Bemidji Regional Airport that shows the flash of light streaking across the sky. The second video does not include the audio of the blast. But of course, like I said before, when I talked to Muller today, and also there's an update in this article, that they're saying now that it was an insect. It says here, after much review and consulting with federal agencies, we do not believe this video was related. This appears to be another object, possibly as simple as a bug that just happened to coincide perfectly with the item of interest we were looking for. Okay, so let me just, I just want to play devil's advocate here. Now, I know federal agencies are telling Mueller, yeah, it's probably just a bug. Yeah, that's all that was in that airport video. A bug, insect, flying and close to the camera. In fact, I would guarantee you that even the greatest debunker of our age, Mick West, wouldn't even need to look at this video. He could just make that determination by just thinking it. And not even having to investigate it. It would be an insect in his mind immediately. He doesn't even need to look at this video. But that's what they're saying. Whether that's a bug or not, that's for other people to determine. I don't know. It could be a bug. I don't know how you could make that determination, but that's what officials are telling Muller and Beltrami County, that it's just an insect. That's all it is. And actually, Muller did say that there were other objects in an extended version of that video, that there were other objects flying around. And also he said that the timestamp on that video, although it coincides with the time of the flash and the blast, that was the airport video was actually off by a couple minutes. So I guess it could be a bug, but who knows? I don't know if we'll ever know. Was there an object in the air that caused this explosion, this flash? Was there something flying around that blew up, perhaps, maybe, and crashed somewhere and nobody found the pieces yet? Is that what happened, or something else going on here? We're going to get into all of that here in a couple minutes. Anyway, in an update, Mueller said experts examined the two surveillance videos and determined the object is too horizontal to indicate it was a meteor. So before he was told that it was just an insect, officials were telling him that this object that they looked at, they did it in slow motion and everything. They determined that it was moving horizontally in a fashion that a meteor would not move. Then they changed it to a bug, but that doesn't matter. The other video where you actually see the flash of light and then hear the explosion, they're saying otherwise. Here's what they say. They're actually saying that that could not be a meteor. Robert Lumsford is a fireball report coordinator with the American Meteor Society, which collects reports of meteor sightings across the country. He told NPR News there are a couple of active meteor showers underway, but the timing between the flash and the sound in Bemidji would appear to make a meteor unlikely. It's possible that it's a meteor, but at an altitude of 25 miles, it takes sound at least 30 seconds to normally reach the ground, depending on how far it is from the observer. So the 3-second difference between the flash and the sound in the Bemidji incident kind of leads me to believe it was something a lot closer, he said. Lunsford said the society has been gathering reports of meteor sightings for nearly 20 years. The reason we're really interested in tracking these fireballs is they're a source of the material from outer space, he said. We've used these reports to actually track down some meteorites that landed on the ground. Back in Minnesota, Mueller in his Tuesday afternoon update said the county appreciates the assistance we've received from federal agencies and the science community in ruling out what it wasn't. Local officials will continue to provide any subsequent information that is learned, he said. The fact that this was seen and heard across such a large area is what is a mystery. What was it? Well, guess what, folks? I don't think we're ever going to find out exactly what it was, because if you do a Google search on mystery booms, you're probably going to be surprised. This is happening all over the place all the time, and there's never any answers. It's like cattle mutilations, right? You'll hear some people say, yeah, it's a satanic cult, or it's just natural predators. That's all it is. Natural predators used laser technology to cut off that flesh around the animal's mouth and core out its anus and drain all the blood from it. It's the same thing as that, because you've been hearing, like I said, if you do type in mystery booms on Google, this is what you get right now. Here's from May 23rd, 2023. Hear the mysterious boom that rattled South Carolina on Tuesday. Here's from Fox 4 Kansas City from 2 weeks ago. Raytown, Missouri, residents perplexed by mystery booms, explosions. Here's from Flint, Michigan, from April 30th, 2023. Flint asks state feds to find source of mysterious booms that feel like fireworks underground. Here's from CBS 8. What's causing the mystery booms heard across San Diego? That's from March 2nd, 2023. Police, here's from August 25th. Police investigate mystery boom in Lehigh County, Pennsylvania. That's happening all over the place, and nobody has any explanation for it. There's these sounds, and then there's no trace of what occurred. I mean, what is this? Some sort of, are some nuts out there have access to military explosives and are just blowing them up for fun to see how people react, or what? I don't think it's that. I think we would have known if there was something like that. But no, I mean, the sky is filled with a bright light all of a sudden, and then there's a boom. Now, a lot of times you don't hear about the bright light, and then, like in this case in Minnesota that we're talking about. But still, what's causing this? Is there something going on underground? Nobody saw, according to Muller. I interviewed him on the phone today. He said that nobody that he's talked to has verified that they saw something in the sky. Now, on their Facebook page, on the Beltrami County Emergency Management's Facebook page, I was going through that, and there was one comment there from a woman who said her son saw an object that he thought was fireworks going through the sky, and then it exploded. But that wasn't, according to Muller, none of that has been verified yet. Like, he has not himself talked with anyone personally that saw anything in the sky blowing up or coming down and blowing up. Or, I mean, if it was something that came from outer space or into the atmosphere and then blew up and landed somewhere, at this point, according to Muller, nobody's found anything to verify that. But there's a lot of people residents from that area were commenting on this Facebook page. Some of them are joking around saying it's aliens. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, could extraterrestrials be responsible for this? I mean, who's responsible for these loud explosions that are going on all over the place on a regular basis all the time? We have no answers. We're not getting any answers from authorities. Now, again, I don't know what when you look at that video with the airport video, not the one where you hear the explosion and see the bright light, but the airport video where you see this object streaking across the sky. Is it a bug? I mean, really? I mean, how do we know? They think it is. They can't prove that, though. I mean, it just seems odd that it happened at the same time. It coincided with the sound. But like I said, according to Muller, he looked at an extended version of that video and he saw there was other objects flying through the sky. Now, again, it's November in Minnesota. It's getting cold out. I mean, are there a lot of bugs around at this time of year? Not that much. Not that much. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I think it needs more investigation, because guess what? This happens all over the place. It's happening all over this country. It's happening in different places of the world, and there's no answers ever. There are the people we put in charge are not providing us answers. Is it possible? I mean, as far-fetched as this sound, is it possible that maybe these extraterrestrials are doing something underground, perhaps tunneling, creating bases underground, and that's the sound? They're using some sort of explosion to make it happen. Is that what's going on? Or maybe the people of the federal government's doing it. Maybe they're building underground bases for some reason. Who knows what's going on, but we don't have any answers. All we have is a bright flash of light in Minnesota, followed by a very loud boom. And guess what? Nobody knows what it was. You have experts telling us it's not a meteor. What is it then? We're never going to know, I don't think. But I wish we could get an answer to this, because it's frustrating not knowing what it is. What's causing something like that? That sounds massive. Whatever it was, whatever caused that sounds massive. And there's no answers, and it's happening everywhere. This isn't some isolated case. This is one of many, many cases. But anyway, yeah. But to start saying that it is a bug that you see there, I mean, for all we know, like I said, it could have been federal officials at first. They're scrambling, trying to go, we got to make sure that we don't scare the public. Okay, well, you know what? Let's call that guy up, call that Muller up. And you know what? Tell him it's a bug flying across the screen. Real fast, like, tell them that. And that's the answer. That's all we get. We get more lies for all. You can't trust them. You can't trust the federal agencies. What you need to bring in is independent investigators to look at these things and come up with answers. Because I mean, when you ask if it's something strange like this and potentially extraterrestrial related, well, you're not going to get any straight answers from the federal government. I can tell you that, because they don't like giving straight answers when it comes to this subject. They hate it. But yeah, that's where I'm at with this one. I think it's very interesting. I would like to get, and I want to thank Sean, one of my followers, for he is the one who alerted me about this story. He sent me an email earlier today. So thank you very much, Sean, for alerting me to this story. And I'm glad I'm glad I got a chance to talk to Mr. Muller about this. Like he talked about that there were no power outages reported, so it couldn't have been a transformer. So what is it? Nobody knows. Nobody knows, and he doesn't have any answers. And I don't suspect we'll ever get an answer for it. It will just be, and then you'll hear about something like this from some other community in some other part of the country or some other part of the world at some point. It's constant. It's always happening. There's these mystery booms. What's going on? Is there something going on beneath us? What caused the flash of light in the sky? If it's not a meteor, what the hell was it? Did something crash? Perhaps, maybe in this instance, maybe it wasn't underground. Maybe it was something that came down from the sky and caused the explosion, caused the flash of light, and then explosion. What is it? Nobody knows. Anyway, I'm going to move on. I'm going to talk about some of the more recent polls that I had put on Spotify. For the last, we'll go through the last 3 episodes on this one. Yes. I'm going to update one of them. I know I talked about one of them recently, but we're going to do an update on it. This was for the episode Interview. Beyond Strangeness host shines spotlight on Army Colonel who confirms secret UFO programs. I asked this question: should Congress request Army Colonel Carl Nell to testify publicly about his knowledge of UFO crash retrieval and reverse engineering programs? Of course, now, since last time, there's more people who voted. It's 79 votes now. 6 people, or 7.6%, say no. That's probably a cabal of debunkers, while 73 people, or 92.4%, say yes. Of course, I mean, that was a dumb question anyway. I mean, I should have came up with something better than that one. I don't know what I was thinking that day. Who knows? Maybe I was just had a momentary lapse into stupidity. Anyway, and then for the episode, Army Colonel Carl Nell appears set to spill UFO secrets this weekend. Of course, as I was talking in that follow-up podcast about how this weekend there's this Sol Foundation where you're going to have people like Dr. Gary Nolan, Jacques Vallée, Leslie Kean talking about efforts to get disclosure on UFOs, basically on the whole situation, and Nell's going to be there, and he's going to be talking about controlled disclosure. So I asked this question: will the name Carl Nell become a household name? There's 51 votes so far, 26 days left. 21 people, or 41.2%, say no, while 30 people, or 58.8%, say yes. Well, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell if Carl Nell will become a household name. I mean, looking at his pedigree, I mean, if he's one of the people, if like, say, starting this week and he makes some comments publicly that are astounding, he could become a household name. I mean, if he ends up testifying to Congress and telling the truth about what he knows about covert crash retrieval and reverse engineering programs, yes, Carl Nell could become a household name. I mean, he has an impeccable resume. I mean, this guy did everything. I mean, I'm not going to go through it again. We talked about that in the podcast I did recently with Jason Schertz from Beyond Strangeness. This guy, I mean, he's beyond reproach. I mean, if you have someone like this telling you, that's like hearing it from the horse's mouth. That's like someone from the control group stepping up. Almost. I mean, that's what it seems like. I mean, you have somebody who's done it all and was working in the highest echelons within the Pentagon and military establishment. Well, how could you say that he's not telling the truth? I mean, you really can't. So I would have to say it's possible. Yes, I'm going to go. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go with the yeses on this. That's the majority right now. I think he could become a household name, even more so than David Grush potentially. Well, I guess time will tell. We'll see. And then for the most recent episode, Corbell reveals leaked image of UFO allegedly shot at by Royal Air Force. I asked this question: are you astounded with the latest leaked UFO image from Jeremy Corbell? There's been 49 votes so far with 29 days left. 10 people, or 20.4%, say yes, while 39 people, or 79.6%, say no. I agree with the majority on this one. I say no, I was not astounded by the picture. It was not stunning whatsoever. It wasn't the gimbal video. It was nothing like that. It was nothing like the Tic Tac. It was nothing like that. It was something you can't tell what the hell it is. So that's why I say blah, blah. Yeah, junk. Now the story that went along with it, of course, like I stated in the podcast, that was much more interesting. Much more interesting. Anyway, as far as these mystery booms are concerned, I mean, what are we dealing with here? I mean, if it was some sort of, could it be an errant missile from a military base? Are we now practicing different kinds of missiles in residential communities? I mean, what's going on here? I mean, you would have to think that the military would have some answers here, would be able to provide better answers than nothing when it comes to these mystery booms. I mean, these are like explosive, loud sounds. I mean, what's going on here? Where are the officials? I mean, you have the local community leaders like Christopher Muller has no answers, so he reaches out to federal authorities and they have no answers. This is what it's like in all these different communities where they're hearing these loud sounds and there's never any answers. I mean, we're not getting anything from the higher ups on this one, and that needs to change. It's time for people to start providing answers. I mean, maybe has nothing to do with extraterrestrials at all. It could be some natural phenomena for all we know that's causing these loud explosions, or maybe something's happening beneath the earth that's natural that's causing these lights, loud, bright flashes of light and explosions that I don't know what, but maybe. I mean, but where's the answer? We're not getting any answers to this. Where's the scientists? Do you think they would be going to these places and trying to study these and trying to find out, to try to get answers to what's going on here? Instead, it just hangs out there like other things that just hang out there. You know, people see UFOs all the time. There's no such thing. He must have been drunk or something. We didn't see anything. I mean, we're tired of the lies and the nonsense. How about somebody giving us some answers about this? I mean, the United States military has more at its fingertips than any other military in the world. They have access to they have more funding than any other military in the world by far. Right? They should be able to provide us some answers about what's happening here in these communities across the country that are hearing these loud explosions. I mean, again, if it has something to do with the extraterrestrials, if they're up to something, or maybe something cracked. In this case, I don't know. If it is extraterrestrial related, maybe they're doing something beneath the ground the cause of these loud explosions. Maybe something crashed, right? Or maybe it's there's some prosaic explanation for this. It could be some sort of natural phenomenon, or maybe somebody's has access to military grade ordnance and is using that to cause this. But where's the investigation? You would think that our officials are supposed to keep us safe here. I don't think that's keeping us safe by not looking into this and not providing any answers. It's happening all over the place. What's going on? Anyway, I'd like to get answers to that. It's one of those. It's when you talk about UFOs and extraterrestrials, we all have a really decent idea that okay, they're here, they're up to something, obviously, right? Whether they're studying us or trying to take over or something like that, you could come up with some interesting speculation about it, right? But with this, there really is no. So I don't know what to say about stuff like this. There's absolutely nowhere to turn, it seems, and our officials don't provide any answers, any plausible explanations. Okay, it's not meteors. Okay, well, what else do you got? Oh, we don't know. Oh, that thing on the screen there is a bug. That's all I can tell you. You know, that's what the federal authorities are telling us anyway. So that's how I feel about it. Everybody knows how I feel about this. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for joining me. Until next time.